Beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. Our hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the master of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe, but for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort. Prithee, peace. He receives comfort like cold porridge. The visitor will not give him also. Look, he's winding up the watch of his wit. By and by it will strike. Sir, one, tell. When every grief is entertained, that's all it comes to the entertainer. $1. Dolor comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than your purposed. You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should. Therefore, my lord, fie, what spendthrift is he of his tongue? I prithee spare. Well, I have done. But yet he will be talking. Which or of he or Adrian for a good wager first begins to crow? The old cock, the cockerel. Done. The wager, a laughter, a match. Though this island seem to be desert. Ha ha ha. So you're paid. Uninhabitable and almost inaccessible. Yet, he could not miss it. It must needs to be of a subtle, tender, delicate, and temperance. Temperance was a delicate wench, aye, and as subtle as he most learnedly delivered. The air breathes upon us here most sweetly, as if it had lungs and rotten ones, or as 'twere perfumed by a fen. Here is everything advantageous to life, true save means to live, of what there's none or little. How lush and lusty the grass looks, how green! The ground indeed is tawny, with an eye of green in it. He misses not much. No, he doth not. He doth but mistake the truth totally. But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit, as many vouched rarities are, that our garments being as they were drenched in the sea, hold, notwithstanding their freshness and gloss, being rather new-dyed than stained with salt water. If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say he lies? Aye, or very falsely pocket up his report. Methinks our garments are not as fresh as when we put them on first in Afric at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Clarabella to the king of Tunis. 'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return. Tunis was never graced before with such a paragon to their queen, not since widow Dido's name. Time, widow, a pox of that. How came that widow in widow Dido? What if he had said widower Aeneas too? Good Lord, how you take it. Widow Dido, said you. You make me study of that. She was of Carthage, not of Tunis. This Tunis, sir, was Carthage. Carthage! I assure you Carthage. His word is more than the miraculous harp. He hath raised the wall and houses too. What impossible matter will he make easy next? I think he will carry this island home in his pocket and give it his son for an apple, and sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands. Aye, why, in good time. Sir, we were talking that our garments seem now as fresh as when we were at Tunis at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen, and the rarest that e'er came there. Bait, I beseech you, widow Dido. A widow Dido? Aye, widow Dido. Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort. That sort was well fished for, when I wore it at your daughter's marriage. You can cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there, for coming thence my son is lost, and in my rate she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I ne'er again shall see her. O thou mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee? Sir, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him, and ride upon their backs. He trod the water whose enmity he flung aside and breasted the surge most swollen that met him. His bold head above the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore, that o'er his wave-worn basis bowed, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land. No, he's gone. Sir, you may think yourself for this great loss that would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eye, who hath cause to wet the grief on it. Prithee, peace. You were kneeled to and importuned otherwise by all of us, and the fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end to the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own. So is the dearest of the loss. My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness, and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster. Very well. And most chirurginally, it is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy. Foul weather, very foul. Had I plantation of this isle, my lord? He'd sowed it with nettle seed. Oh, or docks or mallows, and with a king on it. What would I do? Escape being drunk for want of wine? I' the commonwealth I would by contraries execute all things, for no kind of traffic would I admit, no name of magistrate, letters should not be known, riches, poverty, and use of service none, contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilth, vineyard none, no use of metal, corn, or wine, or oil, no occupation, all men idle all, and women too, but innocent and pure, no sovereignty. Yet he would be king on it. The latter end of his commonwealth forgets the beginning. All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavor. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, gun, or need of any engine would I not have, but nature should bring forth of it own kind, all foison, all abundance, to feed my innocent people. No marrying among his subjects. None man, all idle, whores, and knaves. I would with such perfection govern, so to excel the golden age. Save his majesty. Long live Gonzalo. And, do you mark me, sir? Prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me. I do well believe your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs, that they always used to laugh at nothing. 'Twas you we laughed at, who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue and laugh at nothing still. What a blow was there given, and it had not fallen in flat long. You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere if she would continue it in 5 weeks without changing. We would so, and then go a bat-fouling. Nay, good my lord, be not angry. No, I warrant you, I would not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me asleep, for I am very heavy? Go sleep, and hear us. What? All so soon asleep, I wish mine eyes would with themselves shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so. Please you, sir, do not omit the heavy author of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter. We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety. Thank you. Wondrous heavy. What a strange drowsiness possesses them. It is the quality of the climate. Why, doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep. Not I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet methinks I see it in thy face. What thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head. What? Art thou waking? Do you not hear me speak? I do. And surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? That this is a strange repose, to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep. Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep, die rather, winkest whiles thou art waking. Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores. I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too if heed be, which to do troubles thee o'er. Well, I am standing water. I'll teach you how to flow. Do so. To ebb hereditary sloth instructs me. Oh, if you but knew how the purpose cherish, whilst thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed most often do so near the bottom run by their own fear or sloth. Prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed, which throws thee much to yield. Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuaded, for he's a spirit of persuasion, only professed to persuade the king his son's alive. 'Tis as impossible that he's undrowned as he that sleeps here swims. I have no hope that he's undrowned. Oh, out of that no hope, what grave hope have you? No hope. That way is another way, so high a hope that even ambition can at peace a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned? He's gone. Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples? Claribel. She that is Queen of Tunis, she that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life, she that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post. The man of the moon's too slow till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom we all were sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act whereof what's past is prologue, what to come is yours and my discharge. What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true my brother's daughter, Queen of Tunis. So is she heir of Naples, twixt which regions there is some space. A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Claribel measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say this were death that now hath seized them. Why, there were no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps, lords that can prate as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzalo. I myself could make a trough of as deep chat, and that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement! Do you understand me? Methinks I do. And how does your content tend to your own good fortune? I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero. True, and look how well my garments sit upon me. How much feeter than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they are my men. But for your conscience, ay, sir, where lies that? If 'twere a kibe, 'twould put me to my slipper. But I feel not this deity in my bosom. 20 consciences that stand twixt me and Milan, candid be they and melt ere they molest. Here lies your brother no better than the earth he lies upon, if he that which now he's like that's dead, whom I with this obedient steel 3 inches of it can lay to bed forever, whiles you, doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this ancient morsel, this Sir Prudence, who should not upbraid of our course. For all the rest they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll teach the clock to any business that we say befits the hour. Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent, as thou goddest Milan. I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword, one stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee. Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo. Oh, but one word. My master through his art foresees the danger that you his friend are in, and sends me forth, for as his project dies to keep them living, while you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy, his time doth take. If of life you keep a care, shake off slumber and beware. Awake, awake! Then let us both be sudden. Now, good angels, preserve the king. Why, how now, how awake? Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking? What's the matter? Well, as we stood here securing your repose, even now, we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather lions. Did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly. I heard nothing. Oh, 'twas a din to fright a monster's ear, to make an earthquake. Sure it was the roar of a whole herd of lions. Heard you this, Gonzalo? Upon mine honour, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we can stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons. Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son. Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure of the island. Lead away. Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.